What's good? Happy Tuesday evening. It's your boy Booga Peters, and you're listening to Bolts Uncut. We're getting started a little bit early. Myself and my co-host way across the pond, A.D. Simons. Nice to have you back. Unfortunately, like me, I tried to get on here to get a little sob story in and complain about how sick I am. And then I found out as soon as AD opened his mouth, he's sick as shit too. So
yeah. I'm sick as well. This came on today. I'm just like, oh God. Yeah.
AD, before we go any further, we're going to talk a little bit, of course, about the Miami victory, because I'm telling you right now, that's a game that a Staley-led team or some of these other head coaches from the Chargers in the past that are popping up again, like Mike McCoy, those teams don't win those games. We'll even kind of dive into a little bit of a talk regarding should we be concerned about Jesse Minter right now. I will say I've seen this online, and we'll touch on it more later, but the way that the defense has been performing as of late and their struggles, it does probably mean that he may not have to go look for another job next year. He'll just be here.
Want to. Yeah,
I know. And we'll touch on that. And then, of course, we'll do our Bolts-Colts preview. We'll talk a little about that. Want to give a shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now. Big James, appreciate you. Love you, brother. Jessica, you're one of the best. And while we're here, that's Jessica Thompson at ChargerChick55 on Twitter and X, depending on what you call it. She is literally the individual that we believe should have already won Fan of the Year at some point and hasn't. She went to her 58th consecutive game this weekend, whether it's home or away. I don't know. A lot of people try to talk about my fandom. I've never done that. I've never done anything close to that. And you're like, I live in London.
Yeah. So Jessica popped up on my social media feeds this week a lot.
She did a really good job sharing everything. She's done such a good job, and we're going to make sure to do what we can too. If for some reason the wrong decision is made when it comes to her not being named the Fan of the Year, I've already talked to Jessica extensively, and we're very much going to look into trying to do whatever we can at Bolt Blitz to help champion her and prop her up, because I don't know a lot of Charger fans like that. I've been around the Chargers for 46 years now. Like, I don't know people who do that. A lot of people hurt by the move, obviously, but home, away, rain or shine, is like the damn mailman. She lives on time. She's there. She's at these games. We just want to give you your love. You deserve your flowers, Jessica. We appreciate everything that you do in the chat, and of course, everything you're doing on social media to help boost this show, Bolt Blitz Uncut. Who gives a shit that we're 680? Sick 80. I almost said 6'7". In America, you can't say that shit. I hope you don't know what that is.
No, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean by that.
My kids are going to kill me for saying that, by the way.
I don't understand what it means.
No one does, by the way. It's like gluten. Is it even real? But anyway, we'll move on. Let's talk about this victory over the Dolphins. And we're not going to spend too much time breaking down the entire game or anything like that, but I'm just going through my notes here and looking at this. I've got sloppy as fuck game 5 times.
Yes.
Throughout the 4 quarters. Literally in each, I have a section for quarters, and it's literally in all 4 quarters. We'll start here. Cameron Dicker. He's pretty damn good, huh?
I think he's a very good kicker. I like the guy.
Do you think a game like this last one will maybe get him some more national notoriety? And obviously with Justin Tucker being, Mr. Handyman, if you will, he doesn't really have that guy to compete with other than Mr. 70-yarder Cam. Oh shoot, what was his name with the Jags? Our producers now, it's Cam Little. But
little.
But yeah. Here's my thing: is Cameron Dicker isn't just like this incredible kicker. He's also phenomenal to all the fans. He's so good to the fans.
The Chargers social media team do a really good job of him. So he's in a lot of their stuff, and they do a lot to hype him up, because he is the kind of person you want to run your franchise. Yeah, he's just a good guy.
You nailed it too, because he's always just trying to have fun, and it's good for somebody to see that extroverted. And sorry, kickers and punters, if you're listening right now, they're all weird anyway. Their practice is not like other football players, clearly. Yeah. But I will say, I have been a Chargers fan my whole life, and we were comfortable with Carney. We were comfortable with regular season cading. I'm not going to get into playoff season and playoff numbers cading. We don't need to do that to ourselves. But Cameron Dicker is not just, as of 2 weeks ago, the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He's easily the best kicker that I think that the Chargers may have ever had. He has the big leg. He's accurate. He's going to miss. He misses more gimmies than he does anything really long or extensive. I don't know about you, but do you think that the fan base is taking him for granted a little bit? I don't mean folks like our Bolt Blitz fans and the Bolt Blitz people and the Bolt fam. I just mean, does he get taken for granted?
I wouldn't say that. I think the best kind of kicker you can have is one where you don't have to worry. I mean,
it's like not hearing an offensive lineman's name during the game.
Yeah. It's like if you don't have to worry about the guy, if you don't have to like sit there and think, oh my god, oh god. No, like that's your best kind of kicker. Yeah. I mean, one or two misses here and there a season. Every kicker does that. But yeah, it's nice to have somebody that's reliable and automatic and. Yeah, and even at the 60-yarders, you're like, oh, come on, let's make this.
I know. Well, he's constantly trying to talk him into it. Like, he'll go over to Ficken, and I read a little story about this. It's really funny. Like, they'll be hot, and Herbert will be driving down the field with the team, like, just moving them. And Dicker will go over there. So, hey, do you think three's in this drive? You think I'm going to get the score here? No matter what he's doing. So, like, he's always trying to get his leg in the game. I don't know. And James nailed it, too. Dude's been Mr. Consistent. That's what we'll talk about a former Chargers kicker tonight too, that they're going to be facing in this upcoming game against the Colts. But we've dealt with, Roberto Rodriguez. We dealt with, Money Badger. Obviously, you know who I'm talking about, Mike Badgley. He's actually the Colts kicker right now. Yeah. We've dealt with some really, really poor kickers. Steve Christie. I mean, he was accurate every now and then, but I mean, just a lot of Jags, just guys. Just a guy. There hasn't been a guy like that with the Chargers in a long time. Four, and he hit that 58-yarder too, by the way. So if they hadn't have redone the down and taken the first down and ended up kicking a field goal anyway, then he would have had one from 58.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. And we don't real quick. I was a special teams guy. 80, I could tell, is already bored of talking fucking kickers. I totally understand. Looking at the special teams units, allowing a 45-yard kickoff return to the Dolphins to start, that's obviously not what you want to see from a Ficken coached unit, but you've seen how banged up this team is in so many different areas and position groups. I feel like we should expect some of that and just hope that we see if there are games where it starts out rough, that they kind of hone it in and kind of temper it down a little bit sooner.
Bend not break would be the phrase I'd use. Yeah.
And it's sure. And the new kick return rules are a little bit wonky, and I don't know how I feel about them. If it wasn't for kick return and punt returner, I would have hardly played in high school. So I adore that shit. I would like to see the Chargers clean up that phase. And here we'll kind of piggyback off of what I had mentioned earlier. When you look at the Chargers coordinators going into this season, 80, and you look at Greg Roman, Jesse Minter, and Ryan Ficken, I truly feel, and please don't shoot me for this, Lord, I think that Roman might be doing the best job of the three this season. Have I lost my fucking mind?
No, you're right. I mean, like, I think people took Greg Roman for granted somewhat, thinking, well, he's a meat and potatoes guy. We know him what he is. And then come week one, he came out with something completely different to what we're used to. And it's kind of like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
He isn't, running, 31, free tight ends and running.
Yeah. No, he ran
3.5 yards of the cloud of dust. It's like, oh, okay, this is different. And he's been all over the place, and he's tailoring his offense to people's strengths, which is why QJ, who I'm going to say it. Quentin Johnson is not a very good receiver.
Oh, no!
Quentin Johnson can run 3 good routes, and he will make sure that those 3 routes that Quentin Johnson can run are going to be the best routes that he can run, and he's going to scheme him open. That's a good coordinator.
You nailed it. Listen, hold on. I got to say this. I think he was missed last week, by the way. I really do think that he was missed. There were certain elements to that offense to where you could see when other guys that were filling his role of that X, where those plays aren't getting open like they do with QJ, because as much as he's done some things to break everybody's heart, and he does only have 3 routes. I'm going to say something positive here. I promise. He does only have 3 routes. Yeah. But the things that he can do with those 3 routes, and like you said, Roman using his players to their strengths, he can get a lot done, and we've seen that. Prior to his injury, top 5, 7-ish in receiving yards, touchdowns somewhere in that same range. He's having a career year, and it was something that I don't think that any of us really expected. Now, that being said, if I am looking to draft a wide receiver in the first round, you need to have the whole route tree. Yeah. And I not just have a little bit of it in your back, you need to know the whole thing.
Yeah,
so
it was year 2 before anybody figured out that you can only run 3 routes.
I know. Oh, no. Everybody said he ran every route.
No, he couldn't in college either. It was a slant and go. He was get the ball at 5 to 8 yards. Couldn't even catch it properly because his catching mechanics were off. He'd get the ball and just run. He was a yak guy. He wasn't a receiver.
And also at Texas Christian, too. It's not like defenses out there are real stout.
Oh, no, it's Big Ten. Big Ten defense is a bullshit. Every time I go through draft boards and so on, I'm like, oh, okay, this linebacker looks good, and I'm like, no, he's a Big Ten guy. No,
no way. He hasn't tackled anybody worth a damn.
Big 12. Sorry, I'll say Big 12. Yeah, I will not.
It is Big 12. I wasn't going to correct you, but somebody was going to tell us.
Big 12. No. Yeah,
let's get to your specialty, because as we're watching this game again, I'm going through my notes. The Gadsden fumble. That one hurt my feelings. Just go down, boy. Come on, dude. He's got to know. Just take it down. Puncture the shell of the zone. And when you're starting to get conversion, because he's a tall, lanky guy, too, with really long arms, he's going to claw that thing, but there's still going to be a target there most of the time. If he's on the way down, especially, don't try to keep yourself, up. Go down.
Yeah, the peanut punch. Yeah, the ball got punched out. It
was a great play by the defender too. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah, there happened a couple of times. I think it was 2 or 3 times the ball got punched out during the game, and it wasn't even like a receiver fumbling the ball. That ball got knocked out of their hands. It does. There are some things that you can't really plan for, but you know that he should have had a little better hold of that damn thing too. Yeah. When you're already on the way to the ground, anything can happen. Yeah. I mean, again, there's a drill that we use in rugby over here. That we would typically use to shield the ball. So you essentially kind of rotate yourself a little bit more over. Yeah. I get, but that
you almost hit you as you're going through. It's less shoulders flat and dancing and shit like I do. It's more that there's literally a thing y'all do to protect it.
Yeah. We do this in the rugby field, but those fumbles, they're on the Dolphins. They're straight off their practice field, and that's good work from their coaches.
No, it was. Looking at the notes again, and you're the O-line expert here, and we'll talk about your O-line experience coming up this weekend. I can't wait for you to be able to share that with everybody. But Bobby Hart, another movement penalty early. I got him down for at least one of those. Chargers offensive line. I need to start giving Zion his flowers.
Yeah, he's the best offensive lineman on a really bad offense.
Oh, and it is, but he's ranking in the top 15-ish in pass blocking, and it might have even gone up after this last week. I'm not sure, but he really is. I don't know if he's settling in. That's not the right way to say it, but
no, don't say that.
Maybe it is Bozeman. This is the problem.
Don't start making a case for the Chargers to keep him. No.
No. I want what I know what you're saying, and God, I don't want that either. I really don't want that either. No. But when I look at this offensive line, Deculus, Bobby Hart, Zion, it's not just that he stands out as the best player of the group. He's far better than the rest of them. Becton, he's struggling a little bit. I still don't think that he's quite healthy at all. Obviously, we know about his hand, but I'm not too worried about the hand as I am some other shit that I don't think that they're talking a lot about.
Yeah, the knee, the knee injury that he had preseason. Nobody's the Chargers haven't openly acknowledged. They don't need to. I've seen the tape. I've seen the way his knee was strapped up. That's going to be an injury for going on forever.
80, real quick, talk about the tape so you can explain to them what the folks are talking about, or what you're talking about to the folks. He's talking about K-tape. There was a kinesiology tape early in camp on Becton. So tell us about that.
So it was back in May during the first kind of walkthrough sessions before OTA started. You noticed that he actually had his right leg had a sleeve on, and luckily somebody from the Chargers took a photo of the guy's leg.
They busted him out.
Yeah, and you could see underneath his knee. You could actually see underneath.
Oh, you could totally see it. We caught it right away. I don't know who said it first, but I knew we were both going to find it.
Yeah. So and with kinesiology tape, the manufacturers actually produce a book, which I have. It's like $9.99 off Amazon. So you can cross match what you see in that on the practice field to what's in the book, and yeah, he's got patella tendonitis, which relates to old injuries from when he was at the Jets.
Yep.
That's going to stay with him forever. Yeah. But
you're also the specialist on big people. Did you see that James was asking if you were standing up?
Yes, I am.
He is.
I have a stand-up desk, and I quite enjoy this. When Booga worked on radio, he used to use a stand-up desk, and my wife's a big proponent of the stand-up desk. So yes, I'm trialing this for a bit at least until my new chair arrives. Because for those who don't know, I moved into a new house like 2 weeks ago. The main reason why I've been away from the show is because I haven't had internet. I've had to wait 2 weeks for my internet to get switched on. So I've not been able to do any recordings. I've not been able to come live. I've not really been able to do anything. So luckily, Booga being Booga has managed to find a good old all-star cast of an all-star cast of people to come in.
Look what I did to replace you. It's so difficult. I had to get the best people I could find.
Yeah. We had to find the best people he could find to actually replace me for a couple of weeks. And thank you for everybody who actually did do that.
Love it.
So yeah, so I'm here. You'll catch me every Sunday, occasionally on a Tuesday, but yeah, I'll be here every Sunday.
Well, and one of the things that not just his ability to diagnose K-tape in a picture where the Chargers, photography team, they don't normally make a lot of mistakes like that. Or if and when they do, they catch them before they're printed. Do you know what I mean? They have a group of people who are literally around those kind of things. A lot of times they'll prepare photographers or say, hey, we really don't want a picture of this or whatever it is. It's right there, baby. You saw it.
Yeah.
But anyways, you're the O-line specialist, but when it comes to the post-game stuff, like AD was saying, he's here for Sunday shows, which is or post-game shows. Sometimes it's Monday, obviously Sundays, depending on what happens. God, I know we can't do another one where it starts at 10 p.m. Over here. Me, I felt like you. I felt like I was the worst fan ever because you're just like, I got this. I've only been doing that my entire life.
Yeah. So like 10 p.m. for the East Coast is 3 a.m. for me because I'm 5 hours ahead of East Coast time. So yeah, I've been doing this like for 20 plus years. I've had like the West Coast primetime game kicks off when the sun comes up.
That's crazy. Now, I will say this, speaking of West Coast, that is the best coast in that if you're going to watch football, it's kind of nice to, I wake up early, but for the folks who don't, you might be rushing around a little bit. That 10 a.m. start can sneak up on you. It can get there in a hurry. Yeah.
Then you've got the London games, which are like, 8:30, 9:30 kickoff for you guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the middle of that.
We get some of them that are at like 6:30 in the morning. The what one was it? God, the one that they play. It was one of the international games, but it was this year. But it came on. The kickoff was at like 6:35 or something like that.
Oh, that may be in Germany because they're an hour ahead of me.
I bet it was then.
Yeah, so the Germany game was absolutely crazy, and the NFL will go back there a lot more. So for that one game, they had something like, I believe it was like 2 million ticket requests for that one game, because where they had it in America is, in Germany is, I think it's the biggest US base outside of America in that particular area of the country. And there's so many like military personnel out there, and the Germans who are crazy about football in general. They're going to need to do more because that they did a really good job out there.
Well, they used to have what was it back in the day? The good old Frankfurt Galaxy. Am I right?
Yeah, that team is still around.
Is it really? No way.
Right. So about 5-6 years ago, a bunch of former NFL players actually purchased the intellectual property for the old NFL Europe, and
so smart.
So yeah, the Frankfurt Galaxy are around. They were purchased, and all the old European names, they're around still. They never quite got the London Monarchs off the ground. I know they were talking about it. So the team that I was playing for last, the ownership group of the European League of Football, which is the old NFL Europe, they were trying to get the London Monarchs involved. A team called the London Warriors, which is my old team, who have a significant kind of NFL background. They were trying to get those guys involved and turn them into the London Monarchs, which would have been my guys. So yeah,
which would have been you. Say it.
Yeah,
I love how
yeah,
you said, "Sure, guys." Are you a quarterback in the NFL? You're going to do the Justin Herbert fill in the blank with my coded statement that really doesn't answer the question?
No,
I'm talking with you.
I'm an offensive lineman. I'm 6'11" and walking around at about 315 today. I'm O-line.
You are O-line. So speaking of the O-line and some of the issues up front, I will have to say that the offensive line did a good enough job aiding the efforts of a one Kimani Vidal.
Yeah.
What a game from him. You know, he got waived earlier this year and then brought back to the practice squad. And then, of course, with Hampton, Najee going on IR for good. Hampton's injury looks like it could be more serious than they originally thought because they're thinking that the window won't be healthy within the window of the 4 weeks. So if he stays on there longer, whatever, they had to have somebody else come in. They brought back in Hines, who obviously had a great kickoff return on that last drive. 40 seconds left, getting the ball to the 41. But we got to talk about Vidal. He didn't just do a solid job as a runner. He was pretty solid in pass pro, and you saw him catch the ball too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I'm surprised about this, but a little bit considering the offensive line. What were your thoughts on his performance this last week, and can he continue that or replicate that again this upcoming week?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why he can't. I mean, unless that was just a one-off performance, there's no reason why he can't replicate that whatsoever. We do know that they are looking for new other running backs via trade. So we're never going to see Najee Harris again. Now he's 1 year deal with us is done, so we'll probably never see him again. So we've been seeing a lot of names talked about.
If that shit doesn't fit into the curse, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I've never been hurt before.
Yeah, I mean, Alvin Kamara's name's come up a lot. I don't see how that's going to work. I really don't. There's still two really good names that are free agents out there that I really like. I mean, Gus Edwards, he's a plug-and-play guy, if he's healthy, because we don't really know his status. Then Damian Martinez, who's been in and out of the Seahawks roster. I mean, we love that guy. So for those who don't know who Damian Martinez is, last year at Miami in the ACC, the same as Amari Hampton, he in gap run, power, downhill running, he did better. He was better than Amari Hampton in that kind of downhill running. So yeah.
I had to throw that out there. Hugo, thanks for joining the chat. I just wanted to throw that out there because Hugo had mentioned that he turned on the show and he heard that Quentin Johnston is not a very good receiver, and then his internet cut out. So that was just like, well, there's my first experience with Bolt Blitz. They're still talking shit about Quentin Johnston.
No, I will. No, I still will talk shit about Quentin Johnston because he's not like people are very keen to be like a prisoner of the moment. I'm not. I still see stuff on tape and I'm just like, I need more. You're a first round draft pick, mate. I want to be able to see. Oh, here we go.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're unfamiliar, our producer extraordinaire, the man. There's no myth. He is a legend. Kyle Nash. Hi.
I'm unfamiliar with the time getting moved, but okay, cool.
No, it was I don't know. Well, you probably didn't hear the first part. He and I are both like dying.
Yeah, we're both sick, so it was like, right, we need to start this now.
Then yeah, please don't die.
The show would be a little weird without both of us.
I mean, we've had chicken birth on the show. Why not avoid death? I agree with that here. Shouts to Burt Grossman there.
Absolutely. So, but hold on, back to the Vidal thing. I think I agree with you. I do think that he can replicate it again, especially as we're hoping and praying that maybe a Joe Alt return is somewhere on the horizon, maybe within the next 2 weeks. I know people are talking about him playing this Colts game. 80, I ask you one quick question and give me a quick answer. Do you even want him to come back yet? Should he take a little more time?
Take as much time as he needs. If he needs.
Well, he wanted to go back in the last game the game he got hurt in too, though. Like
no. I mean, no. Just don't rush him back. It's a horrible injury to have, and it's a one with a high injury re-injury rate as well. So it's a high ankle sprain. Zion Johnson came down on the back of his leg.
Yeah. What's horrible is I literally knew that when we saw it. We talked about it in the group, and I blocked it out. I was so fucking angry.
I'm not blocking it out. I'm not blocking that stuff out because I'm watching everything. I'm just like, what the? Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No. No, Quentin, Zion came down on the back of his leg, which twisted him, which put him out. Okay.
Here I'm trying to give him his flowers, and then he's breaking the only good lineman we've got.
Yeah. No.
I'm playing. Vidal, I hope to see it continue, especially, again, with Alt coming back. Maybe, I can't believe I'm saying this shit out loud, but even Pipkins coming back would be a huge boon for the team. I'm telling you right now.
Yes, it's
better. You got to get healthier up front for them to sustain any of this, because what they did against the Dolphins is not consistent. I know they're not a Staley, McCoy, Anthony Lynn team, but they've flown all over the world.
Yeah.
And from one coast to the other coast, and we saw them in the post game. Like, if you watch the post game speech that Harbaugh gave? Harbaugh is Harbaugh, so he's all fired up and loud, and everybody's just fucking tired. They look super tired. They're beat the hell up.
Yeah, the entire. I mean, every team gets it, but we kind of expect it from this Chargers team. No matter who the strength and conditioning coaches are, no matter who the medical team are, something happens. It's almost like MetLife turf. You're expecting somebody to go down
every game.
Yeah, it's just like somebody goes down for a few weeks and you'll lose them for a couple, then they'll be back, and some guys you'll lose early in the season, and it's like it's kind of just expected, which is why you want a GM to build you a strong, deep roster.
Or I don't know, maybe Ben Herbert could be as good as they're saying that he is. Kyle.
No.
Sorry, there it is.
I love everything that's going there. And 80 man, listen, as much as both of us specialize in trench warfare, and that is our craft, you are at a higher level than I ever was, for sure. But I want to ask this question because I think sometimes it's playing style, right? As a Niner guy, I know why they're getting banged up is because their approach is to beat the ever-loving bejesus out of you every single solitary play. I get that, right? Some of these old Steeler teams, some of the Ravens teams, especially back in the day, was, listen, beating somebody down for 16, let alone 17 weeks, is an act of pure identity and attrition, for sure. Sometimes it's the turf, like MetLife. I can't say that necessarily for the Chargers because the coaching staff has basically changed. I'm not aware that SoFi has a bad turf situation. Actually, that field is damn nice. I was there for the Super Bowl a few years back when it was Rams-Bengals. But what is it with this group? I know it's not necessarily strength and conditioning. Is it just bad juju? Which, hey, listen, as somebody who covers the Orlando Magic, I get that, but what do you see as a guy who's been at that level, man?
Oh man, I don't know what it is. It always just seems to be something within the somebody goes down and gets hurt in the Chargers. There's not one thing that you can put to it. I mean,
hold on. I have a question for both of you. To me, it's very simple. To me, while it's as much as it's easy for Chargers fans to throw it, the Chargers, because they do feel like the most injured team. They may not be, but there are a lot of seasons that they are.
The Niners said
more two-a-days, you're practicing in underwear. I mean, if you're not going out there and it's not just the game-shaped endurance. You got to really get in there, and you're making these cuts and plays that you've taken time off from doing. Your footwork. It's just a different NFL now, and now you can't even tackle early.
Well, and I mean that's a league-wide uptick. That you are absolutely speaking. Maybe it's just a matter with the Chargers that those injuries are clustered for more impact players, perhaps. That's a thing. Again, I listed bad juju as one of the reasons, fellas. I didn't mean to make it that deep.
No, I think it is just one of those things because even before this administration came in, it was still happening back then. So unless there's somebody in the back room that's like having control over something that we don't know about, then it's just bad. It's just bad luck, and it's just one of those things that keeps happening. But like the bad luck isn't always bad. Like when we had the doctor punch a Tyrod Taylor's lung, that turned out pretty well.
That's just karma balancing out, 80. That's what I think.
Yeah. Like, you win some, you lose some. It's 50-50, but yeah.
I mean, is this an inappropriate time for me to mention Geno Smith as a Jet? It's not just the Chargers that get the Jet.
Yeah.
Hey, who was the linebacker that knocked him the fuck out in the locker room? Do you remember who it was?
Ekamali.
It was? Yeah. Look at you. Let me guess. Yeah. You know one from overseas.
No. Weirdly, a friend of mine coached him at the Bills. Yeah, because he went to the Bills after the Jets. Because I think it was Rex Ryan that brought him into the Bills. Yeah, I know, but yeah, a friend of mine used to coach him there. But yeah, that's just a random piece of trivia that I know off the top of my head. But yeah, that was over money because Gino agreed to go to the guy's camp over the summer, and IK, who was like a 7th round draft pick, didn't really have a lot of cash on hand, paid everything up front, and Geno Smith didn't turn up. And he went to go like approach him and say, "Look, but I need that money back. That's money. That's like we don't have much of that." And Gino basically told him to kick rocks.
Yeah.
IK broke his jaw.
That was still when the original Student of the Game podcast was still on, and in tribute to that, we got that Family Guy clip of Stewie beating the crap out of Brian. Where's my money, man?
Give me my money. Give me my money. Where's my money? Yeah, I remember that.
You know the 180. You know what I'm talking about. See,
I do know that one. I'm a Family Guy person. I do love.
So am I, but I didn't expect that reference to come up on this show. I mean, I said come up. There's another Burt Grossman reference.
Lord. I was about to say, what can I say except you're welcome, and then you try.
We're having a little too much fun here. Let's put a bow on this game with Miami. Again, we talked to open the show that this is a game that former Chargers coaches probably don't come out with a victory at the end. It was interesting to me again that we saw Greg Roman be the one to propel the team forward out of the coordinators as opposed to necessarily Jesse Minter, whom we all had a lot more confidence in. Cameron Dicker, we love you. We appreciate you. Again, went 5 for 5. One of them didn't count, but the one that didn't count was a 58-yarder. When he kicks like that, the way that he almost always does, the Chargers are going to win games, even if they're not putting up 7 points sometimes. Minder's trying to employ that bend, don't break defense. Hopefully, they can find a way to get that shit locked in because I know they're banged up everywhere, including defense, but it's not looking too good. How concerned are you about Minter? And then we're going to invite our boy Buck D in here.
Right, my biggest concern this week coming up is going to be the defensive line. Now, I've joked a lot about these guys because our defensive line are essentially 2021 backups from the Tennessee Titans, like most of these guys are. That's a joke that I've always made because like we seem to have a hard on for these guys. I mean, even like the backup defensive backs, we had that guy last year. We're going up against Jonathan Taylor this week, who averages over 100 yards a game. That defensive front needs to be stout. Those 4 guys down the line of scrimmage need to be stout because you've got some pretty good players that are on that offensive line. So yeah, that's going to be my main concern. I mean, Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones. He's got some good tight end. He's got a pretty decent rookie tight end to throw to. He leads their team. He's got Michael Pittman, who's a good NFL receiver. But you need to get some pressure. I know Owe coming in, that got that second snap, he got a sack.
Yeah,
that's going to be different this week. They have a pretty good line. Guys like Tanner Bortolini, their center. He's the guy we talked about last year.
Oh yeah, from Wisconsin.
Yeah, they've still got Big Q. Braden Smith, right tackle.
Braden can block too. He's a big boy.
My European man, Mr. Bernard Ryman, from Austria. Yeah, he's a very good. I think he tended to be like a top 15 left tackle last year. They've got a competitive front, and this defensive line of former Titans backups need to be better.
They need to be better, but they need to be healthy too. Before I have them sit here too much longer without bringing my man into the show, Buck D. I know we're all happy about the Miami victory, but with keeping our eyes forward and no more in the rear view like we spent some of the show, what are your concerns going into this Colts game? And I think as ironically as it is, we were putting in the chat, or 80 put in the chat this morning, like, who in the hell knew we would be worried about playing Daniel Jones out of all these quarterbacks on the schedule? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah.
I'm worried about the red zone. It's become the dead zone for us. If we don't score touchdowns against the Colts, we're cooked. Also,
they score more points than anybody in the league.
Yeah, also, it'll be better if we do score in the red zone or just score touchdowns because that puts the ball in Daniel Jones' hands. I'd rather it be in his hands than the running back's hands because, man, that scares me. Their running game scares me. But the thing that's going to work for us is that we're not playing on the road. I think, a lot of people always talk noise. Oh, the Chargers don't have a home field advantage. I think this is to help us, especially now with all of the injuries and things that we have.
Well, it's not like Indy fans travel real well. I'm not saying that Colts fans aren't going. Why would we not want to go see the Chargers-Colts game in beautiful SoFi in L.A., if you're into L.A.? Maybe that's an enticing thing for some folks. I don't know. For me, the running back, obviously, guys, he's talking about Jonathan Taylor. 80 didn't fuck that up. He averages 100 yards a game. It's 100.5. So he's going to get that triple digits. It's about, for me, you talked about a little bit, 80. It's bend, don't break defense. They got to keep everything in front of them. We're concerned. Losing Deshaun Hand, I think, has started to play a factor in that inability of the run defense to be effective. What are your expectations for Minter's defense regarding how do we bottle up, not just Jonathan Taylor, but don't allow any part of the running game, including the legs of Daniel Jones, to beat us or make us lose this game?
Well, okay, here we got to have linebacker play. The linebackers are going to be huge this game because not only do they run the ball, people forget about the tight end that they have. Their tight end is no joke. So that's going to, we could say, yeah, we're going to have Derwin on the tight end, kind of how we do Kansas City, but I want our backers to stand out. Henley, all right, Henley, you showed out beginning of the season. You got sick. We need you. I
really want to know what happened because he doesn't look like he's put on more weight, and he was a guy with that extra weight. It kept him from running or overrunning plays and overextending out of his zone. For whatever reason, Troy Dye decided to just fall off the face of the earth and just forget that they are in man coverage and leave the wheel route wide open last week. And the tight end is Tyler Warren. We were talking pre-show about Tyler Warren, 80. We obviously liked him in the draft. We were concerned about his blocking, and what we were always trying to do for a Greg Roman offense was find a tight end that could block. Tyler Warren's a weapon.
Yeah, Tyler Warren was in his one and only year as a starter at Penn because he was only a starter for 1 year. Our guy over in New York at the Giants, who scored against us the week previously,
Theo Johnson.
Yeah, he was the starter there until he was drafted. Then Tyler Warren got his opportunity. Now, Penn State ran a really gimmicky offense. I mean, he was taking snaps as the center.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was taking snaps as a center and then just running straight up the seam. A lot of what you saw in Penn State really didn't translate to the NFL field on a Sunday. So his blocking grades weren't good. A lot of the concepts that he would run as a receiver, you didn't really see over at Penn State. So although we know the guy's a good gadget guy, the guy's a good receiver. I mean, I think he's actually had an attempted pass this year as well. I did have a look at that earlier on. They tried to have him throw the ball. They could run him as a fullback, as an inline guy, but he's also a top 5 run blocker. Yeah. So he can.
We learned how to block. Great.
Yeah. So he's gone from being on a scale of 1 to 100, a 50, which by Pro Football Focus grading means you're below average, to a pretty decent one. I think it's a 77 now. He's top 5 in the league as a tight end run blocking. So he's come on leaps and bounds. And then a lot better than Colston Loveland did.
Boy, that was a very popular pick for everybody out there. And 80 and I immediately hold on. No, let me back up. Everybody knows that the year prior, I said, give me Mason Graham, Will Johnson, or that other guy. We'd obviously did what they fucking anyway. God, that shit pissed me off. I didn't like a lot of things about the draft this year or the last couple, and it's like, how could you do that? You've got to love Joe Ortiz. I wanted to keep picking on Greg Roman so badly that I just didn't pay attention to the fact that maybe Ortiz wasn't giving him the type of weapons that he needed to run a Greg Roman style offense. And now they're dropping back 40, 50 times, fine. And they don't have too many healthy backs, but that's obviously not sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, the question you have to ask is he dropping back 40, 50 times a game because he has to, because of his personnel group? Are they not allowing him to run the offense that he wants to run? I mean, we know every year prior to being at the Chargers, he's had a top 10 run offense because he's had the ability to have 3 tight ends who can run block and run play action game and have a bit of a receiving game. He's not got that. Joe Ortiz hasn't given him that. So what we're expecting with this like kind of boring offense, come week 1, we didn't get that. And now the league's starting to catch up now through weeks 4, 5, and 6. There's tape on it because what we had through the first 3 weeks isn't what we've seen over the last 10 years of Greg Roman. So, which to me gives some of the reason why everybody was so shocked about what we actually saw. So, now everybody's had an opportunity to catch up. This offense has slowed down.
And no, that's a really good way to put it. Buck, how concerned were? I mean, listen, we weren't planning on having to worry about Daniel Jones. It's been a month since then, by the way, because I've been starting to get worried for a minute. Again, the struggles on the defensive side of the ball. We don't need a score prediction or anything like that, but how concerned are you about this game? I know the answer, by the way.
I'm scared to death.
Yeah.
Because
it's
just what they've been doing offensively. I've been watching them. I've been paying attention. You know, I watched them for a little bit when they played the Raiders at the game that they was not supposed to win, but they're putting up points in different ways. They don't have like a main receiver. He's spreading the ball around. And the thing that he does that kills us is he runs and scrambles. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's the thing that I'm really afraid of. And then also our offense needs to put up points because they're gonna put up points. The Colts are gonna put up points. If we cannot shoot it out with them, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Go ahead. Follow it up.
Yeah, you're right. They are going to score points. We have to be able to keep up with them. And they're gonna control the clock because they have the run game. So if they're going to go down the field, they're going to take off big chunks of the clock, and we need to come back with some big splash plays almost immediately. But
here's how I envision it, though. This is the way that I envision it. They don't want 10 to beat them. They're going to do everything that they can to keep him limited. And what's the best way to do that? Don't let him get on the field. It's that ball control, time of possession running game. Yeah. I'm terrified too, Buck D. And I was at the beginning of this season. I finally did the thing that I normally don't do, and I kind of looked at the schedule this year. I stopped doing this over a decade ago, but I started doing my wins and losses before even shit really went down. I had this one with a big W, like I traced over it like 4 times. I put a bunch of X's on it so you can't tell what it is now. But this is a game that you're seeing an offense that Buck D brought up that they don't have to single anybody out. You really don't know where the ball's going. 80 and I were going over the receivers and the numbers that they have. You know, obviously there's Pittman. Tyler Warren is the number 1 targeted receiver or tight end on the entire team. And then Josh Downs actually, you know, he's making some plays, but he's actually a really good kind of inside route guy, and he's got decent enough hands. And then Alec Pierce, he's your traditional slow white receiver, but he's reliable when it comes to getting shit done in the slot too. They've actually played him outside, I believe, a lot this season as well. So if I'm a little limited in my knowledge on his exact usage this year, please forgive me. I'm terrified about this game for the Jonathan Taylor reason. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to explain to my son that Daniel Jones is why the Chargers lost this game.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I want it to be on Daniel Jones. I would rather us stop Jonathan Taylor as much as possible, put the ball in the hands of Daniel Jones against our secondary and see what happens. Because if they run the ball effectively, we're toast. We're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because they don't have to rely on Daniel Jones. He's flinging it. His completion percentage is 71%.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. His completion percentage on the season is 71.7%.
Now, is that an offensive design thing? Is he getting the ball out quick so it's easier completions, or what is it, do you think?
It's a mixture of everything. I mean, yeah, he like I say, he's nimble. He can run a bootleg. He can run counters. He can almost do everything that Peyton Manning said he could do. He's just now doing it for the Colts. So he's, as I've continuously talked shit about New York, I'll do it again. New York is where nothing good comes out of the city of New York when it comes to sports. Like, you go to New York to get your rookie paycheck and get the fuck out of there. Especially if you're a first rounder. So in a few years' time, when we see Mason Taylor, he'll be the number one tight end in football after he leaves the Jets. I'm still upset we didn't make some sort of arrangement.
Oh, you and I thought it was going to happen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like for those who don't know, the Chargers arranged a trade down on the first night of the draft. So, like, the Amari and Hampton thing that everybody's so like rah about, that almost didn't happen. So the Chargers had a trade arranged with the Eagles, and if you watch the NFL footage of draft night, 45 seconds left on the clock. The guys in the draft room aren't doing anything. They're like, okay, what's happening? Then about 40 seconds left on the clock. That's when they picked the phone up because they realized the Eagles didn't put the trade through. Because they had a trade lined up. So because the Eagles wanted to come up to get Jihad Campbell, who they ended up getting anyway back at like 31. But yeah, the Chargers had agreed to trade, but the Eagles didn't put it through. And that almost cost them that first round draft pick this year.
Well, and as we all know, he's not going to be effective at least for a month too. By the way, I caught the little shade you threw in there, the little stray I caught when you're like, the rah fanfare for Omarion Hampton. I don't know. I just know one person who said this is my favorite player in the entire draft class.
A few people did. Yeah, I mean, it was quite popular because everybody knew that the Raiders were going to take Genty, and what the fuck's he done?
Yeah, he had the one big 3-touchdown game.
Yeah, but he's done not really a lot. I'm not a fan of Omarion Hampton. I'm not a running back guy, but looking at the historical use of the running back position, to me it was kind of odd taking a running back that high, because they've always used like 60% of the running back snaps, and already having Najee Harris on the roster, it seems strange that he would take that. Now we know a little bit more context as to why. I think this was a snap decision to take him. He was like top of the draft board. Just take that guy because they only had about 30 seconds left at the time.
So not only was he throwing shade at your pick there, Booga, he's saying it's not unique either, right?
No.
He wanted to lump me in with the other idiots because he knows.
Yeah. Well, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm just saying there's a lot of idiots who did want that guy.
That was the nicest way to not call me an idiot. I really appreciate that, Eddie. That was.
I'll call you a lot worse.
Yeah, get in line and bring your patience because it's a real long line, man. There's too many people who got that kind of shit to say about me.
After we know a little bit more about what happened on draft night, he's out. He's out for the next 4 or 5 years, whatever. Like, he's going to run the rock. But yeah, the Harbaugh's traditional use of a running back with his rotation splits, to me, didn't make sense from a positional point of view or from a value point of view. It just didn't make sense to bring the guy in. So, yeah, okay, it is what it is.
It is what it is. How concerned are you? And we'll close the Hampton thing off with you, Buck D. How concerned are you about Hampton's injury? And, where do you lie in between 80 and I when it comes to Omarion Hampton appreciation?
Well, I'm not concerned at all. He's young. He'll be all right. He didn't break nothing. He'll be okay. I saw people talking about he may be out for the season, blah, blah, blah. That's not happening. He'll be back. I'm not worried about him at all. As far as if that's a hard question to ask about where do I lie with Hampton after seeing him play. Like
I know, sure, fair. Yeah, but 80 really is cool enough in his evaluations. He said he's not a running back guy. 80 still saw those good games that Hampton had and still said, yeah, no, he shouldn't have been the pick. I'm the guy that's been celebrating it, whatever, but now you're running Vidal, who had a great game. I don't think he can sustain it consistently over a month's worth of being the lead back, that's for sure. Hassan Haskins isn't that flashy, but that being said, before I move forward, we need to give Haskins his flowers too. That last play, how many he hit at least 2 dudes and 2 different blocks on that play. That the play doesn't go that way. It's a completely different outcome. if he doesn't do that. Haskins, you catch a lot of shit because people are like, oh, his kick return average is like 12 yards return. I mean, he's not a flashy returner. He's a utility guy. Harbaugh believes in him. Obviously, he's a former Michigan guy. He's been with Harbaugh before. But Hassan Haskins, for all the numbers you don't put up in the box score, we're paying attention, man. We see you out there, man.
Also, I have to give him his flowers as well as being he's getting the tough yards right now. He's the one that can go and get the tough 2 to 3 yards up the middle, up the tackles, because we saw Vidal cannot do that. He was getting ate the hell up anytime he tried to run up the middle. So we're definitely need that 1-2 punch. Haskins looks like, like you said, he's not flashy, but he does what he needs to do. And he has a lot of, he doesn't give up. So, that play, I saw the first block. I was like, without that play doesn't happen.
Oh, it's done.
It's done. It's over with. So, and then for him to go down and outrun everybody, I'm with you. But let me go back to Hampton real quick.
Yeah.
I got to say I love the pick only because we need something to offset what our 10 is doing, especially in times like this, and then just looking towards the future. It's good to have that 1-2 comment.
I think you nailed it. This is one of those teams where whether the Chargers do plan on being as inconsistent as it seems so far with 40 passes, 28, they move around the way that they're using the offense. I'm actually been so impressed with Greg Roman that one of the things that I'll be looking forward to in this game is how he does employ both Vidal and Haskins when it comes to how they're going to get touches out of the backfield. I talked about Vidal he had a solid game in pass pro. He had one really beautiful pickup, but Haskins does that all the time.
Yeah.
Like when he's in there, they have to give it to him every now and then, because if you don't, every time he comes in the game, it's like, okay, dude's going to be a hammer for somebody. And it's more of a decoy thing, or he's just back here to try to keep 10 clean because, by the way, you brought up the no running inside. Yeah, almost all of their rushing yardage was outside the tackles because that's why they're running 12 and 13 personnel, like we were talking about earlier. I don't believe that it's sustainable, but I think that I'm going to do my best to relax and watch what this team can do. They're dealing with injuries in a lot of different places. Getting a Khalil Mack back wouldn't hurt.
Quick question for both you fellas. I've been keeping up. I'm watching. There's little grumblings that we might go after a running back. Do you think that's a good idea or not?
Yeah, I do. I think we need a north-south runner, somebody who can come straight between the tackles and just come downhill. We don't have that. So if we do end up having the 1-2 punch with Vidal and using the other guy, who is essentially a special teamer.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah, if there is a guy available like Gus Edwards, like Damian Martinez, if somebody like that is available. I'm seeing in the chat that Aldrich Estime from the Eagles was released today. I hadn't seen that.
I did. I retweeted it. And here's the deal. We liked him when he was at Notre Dame. He got drafted by the Broncos, hung around their practice squad a little bit. The Eagles thought to take a chance on him. He is your north-south guy. I don't know how he runs in gap, though. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure how he fits into that. We'd have to look at that because I'd be talking out my ass if I even tried to guess.
Yeah. I'm not a running back guy, so I won't pretend to know.
I'm going to post this on here too, real quick, because we're talking about Chargers and issues. How about a freaking fullback? Oh no, they got Scott Matlock, Jessica.
No, they don't. No,
shit, no. Even Scott Matlock is going. I can't believe they kept my ass. He's like Haskins. He does a bunch of goofy shit for him, and they think that they're being creative, and he set a record in the game. Whatever, dude. I don't know. I would love a real fullback.
It's what Joe Horty likes. They like positional versatility, which is why we took a tackle. That guy out of Pitt was fucking garbage.
Oh, Branson Taylor. He's so bad. Did you watch any of his actual Missouri tape? Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. I saw a lot of his tape from Pitt. But yeah, he was a tackle who projected to move into guard, but can play both sides. So he can play 4 positions really badly. Good. Congratulations. That's positional versatility. He's garbage at 4 positions.
I'm horrible at a lot of them, but I do a lot of them, whatever they are.
Yeah. So I think at the time, because if you go to like the NFL Network and you see their scouting reports, their projections change when the guy actually gets drafted. So pre-draft, he was projected as like the 435th prospect. About 10 minutes after the guy got drafted, he was projected as a 4th-round pick. I was like, oh, really?
Oh, no.
Oh, really? Yeah, they've got some AI really in their website, but he was like, his consensus grade was like in the 400s. Now, only 256 guys on the,
I was gonna say, come on, man,
get drafted. He was like, he was a camp body that got drafted.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Sadly, the season. Listen, it started off on such a high. Chargers not only go 3-0, they went 3 division games, and then they faced 2 NFC teams. I really wasn't too concerned about the Giants. That's on me. And I was concerned enough about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, but to come out of that situation with a 4-2 record going into a game where literally we haven't said this yet or mentioned it yet, but the winner is pretty much the 1 seed for right now when this game comes to fruition. How much do you think they're talking about that, Buck D, in the building there at the Bolt, or do you think they're not talking about it at all?
No, they're not talking about that. They can't talk about that. If they talk about that, they already lost the damn game. To be honest, it's got to be focused on being disciplined, the penalties, the turnovers, everything else will fall into play. That's how I feel. But with that being said, this is a game where we're going to see what the Chargers are really made of. This is the AFC powerhouse coming to LA, coming to SoFi. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are we going to do what we did in week 1 where everyone was like, okay, Chargers, same old Chargers against Kansas City, where they might lose by 2 or 3 points? Or are we going to see a Chargers team, which I've been waiting to see, a team with heart and discipline and not so finesse? We are such a finesse team, and the only time I saw a glimmer of that was that I'll say that. I'll say the fourth quarter against Denver and then the last drive against Miami. If we could put a whole game like that together, the squad will be okay.
80, follow that up, man. I mean, we're looking at this game. We're looking at the Chargers. I don't know that they are talking about it, and I'm with Buck D. I'd rather them not be. I'd rather them not give a shit. There are too many more games to play. Yeah,
you've got to take one game at a time. You can't really look forward to any particular game because anything can change. I mean, if you said like 2 months ago, oh yeah, we got the Colts coming up, most people had that as you did. You had it as a W. Like you looked over it, I was like, on to the next one. Now they're actually pretty good. So now we're like, we're playing the Colts this week. That's a bit different. You can't just look over one game because any game can be a trap game.
Yeah.
As with the Giants, like, you can't. We all looked over. I mean, we did the pregame. We were like, these are all these are all the teams that went 4-0, and then Jackson Dart,
Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. Hey, by the way, let me say just one thing about Cam. I was really hoping that the Chargers would try to find, and it's, they picked up Najee Harris, so I wanted something that was more speed. And you haven't heard us talk about him a lot. He was in our group chat quite often. Like we talked about Cam. There were several people who wanted Scatterboo to be a Charger. It's been interesting to see his rookie year. And, they got him and Ryan Fitzpatrick on Thursday Night Football, ripping their shirts off, just being crazy all the time. The Chargers shouldn't have lost to that fucking team, period. Ryan Daboll, I don't know. I still have no idea how he's still a head coach. He's a guy who could be a coordinator for sure. I'm just not a fan of him as a head coach. We're all terrified about this game. Now I'm going to do something I said I wasn't going to do. Who wins and why? Fuck.
Oh, man. Well, for 2 reasons, I'm going to say Chargers win. One is because I'm going to be at the game.
That's right. I forgot. Let's go. That's awesome.
And then 2 is because this is going to be the premier game that people are going to look at, especially in the AFC. We're looking at the Bills lost, and nobody's really taking control of the AFC. You have Kansas City winning and, looking over the shoulder. But this is the game where the Chargers have to come out and say, hey, that 3 start wasn't a fluke. So I'm going to go with our squad. We just got to – no turnovers, lesser penalties. Those are the only 2 things, and I think we'll be okay.
80, your thoughts, man.
I'm going to go for a loss. Yeah, I'm going to say I think a 7 to 10 point loss. I think something's going to happen here. I think we're going to get almost blown out, and I want to be wrong, but I think there's a 7 to 10 point loss there. I think they're just too strong in certain positions where we're too weak. And
so what I love about the way you guys both set me up is I'm going to say I definitely agree with you that this could be a statement game. Again, I'm still worried and I'm concerned, and they match up really well against us. But like we talked about earlier, 80, that running game is going to control that clock. And as much as Buck, you've talked me into it. Now I'm actually like, why don't they find a way to put the ball in just Daniel Jones' hands as often as possible? I don't know if you can go 8 in the box, but y'all know where Derwin plays. He plays slot almost all the time now. I'd find a way to get him integrated in blitz packages, maybe even a little more than they already do, though he's made some phenomenal plays behind the line already this year. I think that they have a good shot to be the victors, like Buck said, if they avoid the things that he said to avoid. The penalties, this shit's got to stop. You're too hurt. You're too broken up. You cannot afford to beat yourselves in that regard. You have to at least be disciplined, and this is a Harbaugh team. It's kind of what we all expect or hope for. That may be waning just a little bit, but then there's exactly what 80 was talking about regarding, a 7 to 10 point victory. My issue with this game is if the Colts get out early, like if they get a good start or a quick couple scores and the Chargers defense is struggling, the offense isn't really getting it together, we're about to find out what this team can do when they're behind to a team that they're supposed not a division game, but one that everyone's looking at. The old Chargers teams, they played up to their competition. They also played down to it, depending on who they were. They'd win some games that they weren't supposed to. We've all seen them lose games. The Giants game, they shouldn't have lost. We're just past the 1 hour mark. I think we're going to wrap it up right here. Just want to give everybody in the chat a shout out. We love you. We appreciate you. Hashtag Bolt Fam. Hashtag Bolt Blitz Uncut. I'm Booga Peters. That's 80 Simons. He's Buck D. We're going to be here for post-game shows throughout the entirety of the season. And then also we do our Tuesday shows at 8 p.m., sometimes 8:30, sometimes 8:05. My producer was like, I didn't know we changed the time, and I'm sorry. In addition to 80 and I being sick, I still have 2 displaced ribs on my back, and they won't get them in. I went to an appointment today, and they couldn't get them in. And then my L4 and L7 are compacted together and twisted. Oh, and I don't take pain meds, so I'm on one right now. So thanks for everybody who took the time to join us. 80 thinks a loss, Buck D thinks a win, and I think that the Chargers find a way to hang in there just long enough to break our hearts. And I think that they're going to lose by 1 or 2. I think it's going to be so close. Yeah, I think the Colts get out fast. I think the Chargers find a way to get something going. And here's why. I never would have thought I'd say this before. Greg Roman's got some shit, man. He's got some shit that he's drawn up. He's actually, and I know that the halftime adjustment thing is more a fucking fable than anything because those guys don't really have that much time to fix anything in there. But I really think that he's got a number for that defense. It's the offense of the Colts that I'm the most worried about. But shout out to Jessica Thompson, Hugo Boss, everybody, James Allen. I mean, there were a lot of people throwing out chat.
It's good to see people. Really good to see some people. Yeah, it's nice.
It's awesome. And now it's partially my fault because we hadn't advertised the show very much. But before I get everybody out of here, we're going to do this. 80, tell everybody where they can find your stuff. And then Buck, you tell the same thing when he's done.
I mostly talk about O-line and tight end stuff. So you'll find me on Twitter at 80 Simons on Twitter. That's where I mainly do my football stuff.
Perfect. Buck D, where can they find you, man? I know you got some stuff coming up.
Yeah, man. I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night. It was Friday, but it's Saturday night, 7 p.m. So I'll be out there at the Comedy Store doing my thing. Hopefully I can do 2 shows. I'm slated for 1. Hopefully I can slide in on 2, maybe 3.
Brag about the room you're in too.
What's that?
Brag about the room you're going to be in too.
Oh, well, come on, man. I'm going to be.
Yeah, let me give you a little shine. Stop it. Man, the Comedy Store is one place, but tell people about the Comedy Store, please.
So the Comedy Store, you have the belly room, which is upstairs. You have the main room downstairs. Right now, I was told I'll be in the main room, which when they first told me I would be in the belly room, So if I am in the main room, which they said that'll be my first time being in the main room, so I'm ready for it. You can find. Find me anywhere. Just look Buck_dangerous, or if you're on the Old People app, is what you call it, Facebook, Robert Gibson with a P, DIP. And I want to say one more thing. The player to watch this Sunday is OG2, Oronde Gadsden. Watch him. I'm telling you.
I love it. Well, he's got to find a way to redeem himself after last week. Before we get just one more, who's yours, Kirby? 80.
Player to watch. I'm going to go Tyler Warren.
Oh no!
Tight end on tight end action. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tyler Warren. So basically now, for those who don't know, he's on the course to put up the similar sort of yardage as Brock Bowers did last year. That's the level he's on right now. Only he's a top 5 run blocker now. He seems to be one of the most complete tight ends in the league at the moment.
Yep.
For the first few games of the season. So, and given what he can do with gimmicky offensive stuff, he has potential to be a game wrecker.
And yeah, I'm glad that you brought him up because it's the flip side, and you do a good job of providing us with that. My player that I am going to watch on offense is can Vidal do it again. On defense, I think it was Buck D who talked about it earlier. We got to see something from Deion Henley.
Yeah.
I don't know what he had or how sick he really got, but he lost enough weight, and I do think part of the problem is he's not back at a weight that he's comfortable with. He's overrunning plays, he's getting out of position, he's missing coverages is the part that really surprised me. But I think that if he has the game like he was having in the first month, like Buck mentioned it earlier in the show, then I think that he's the guy to watch. We did an hour and 6 minutes, gentlemen. I appreciate all the patience. Hope y'all had fun in the chat. This has been Bolt Blitz Uncut. On behalf of Buck D and my man 80 Simons, we're out, guys.